What's up everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Land, and the other day I was thinking about something that could be really good for Mario, and I was thinking of his next big adventure. Most people think this is going to be a Mario Odyssey 2, which is most likely, or a 3D World port, which sounds about right. But I was thinking more in the grand scope of things and something completely new and original, the way Mario Odyssey hit the scene. So I was thinking, and I came across a Game Explained podcast where they were talking about the next decade and the decade beyond, and they were talking about exactly what Mario was going to do some crazy antics this time around in the next 10 years. And one thing they brought up was a Super Mario movie madness type of game where Mario jumps through different movies and different time periods, and this got me thinking. What if there was a game where instead of Mario going around the globe or going from different galaxy to galaxy or even jumping through picture frames, he jumped through movie sets where he could actually go into each and every different type of movie and experience different types of environments within that movie? So first, let's start off with the story or the main idea of this game. So I thought up the Mushroom Kingdom. Princess Peach holds a film festival in the castle, and in each of these rooms there's different cameras ready to display different films, but Bowser comes in and corrupts the cameras and turning the films into playable areas. Mario must go around the castle and turn on the cameras by using specific puzzle mechanics throughout the castle's hub world. So in order to enter a level, you'll have to power the cameras, and in order to do that, you'll have to go around the castle like in Mario 64 and figure out ways on how to get the camera to work, how to plug it in, how to fix it, and how to get it to work by doing little puzzles here and there. But once you fix the camera, you'll need to power it for the duration of you going into the level, so you don't get stuck in the level. You'll need to keep it powered, and the only way to do that is the collectible power-up in this game. Now for this game, instead of collecting power stars or power moons, you'll be collecting power batteries in order to power the cameras. Lots of power there. So you can either collect power batteries or different types of film in order to play the next couple of movies, depending on what room you go to next. And maybe depending on the film you find will take you to different types of cameras, so that way the game isn't too linear structured. Initially, your job is to get to the giant camera at the top of the castle. That's the last one to get to, and that's the one that Bowser has taken Peach into. Yes, it seems like he's taken Peach this time around. Unless we have a new type of story, maybe he takes some type of powerful battery in order to power the castle. I don't know, something. I just think Peach works better. You know, he's always taking Peach. Why stop now? You know, he takes Peach into this last camera, and you have to go into there and defeat Bowser. And Bowser's created some type of movie paradise for himself, and you have to go in there and defeat Bowser against all the odds. So next, let's talk about levels and exactly what they're going to entail in this game. And pretty much, they're going to retain the usual different environmental aspects that we normally see in Mario games, such as the jungles, your deserts, and your water themes, but with a special movie twist to them. For some examples, maybe the desert is a cowboy saloon, and the jungle could be some type of ruins based off of Indiana Jones and lots of temples. And I'll get into a giant list of them, and in fact, this is exactly what I did for you. I made an entire list of all the possible levels and movie themes that could be in this game, and I'm going to share them all with you and their respective power-ups or additional aspects in each level. First off, I thought of, like I said, a cowboy saloon, where Mario is a cowboy and he has his two pistols and maybe a horse that he rides around the town, and that's just kind of the general premise. He's a cowboy, he's kind of shooting outlaws and fighting villains all over the town. We got Indiana Jones Mario, where maybe Mario's in a jungle or in a temple, like I also said, and he has a whip item allowing him to reach far off items and swing on different vines. Then I thought up of a beach movie or some type of surfer, something with Jaws, something to do with the water, and I wasn't quite sure. I was thinking movies such as Grease, where it kind of has the greasers on the motorcycles and then they come to the beach, something like that, where Mario will have either a surfboard, a submarine, a boat, a motorcycle, something along those lines. Then you have an alien invading situation where Mario is in a city, kind of like New Donk City, and something breaks out. Aliens come down and invade from UFO saucers, or maybe some type of robot comes and takes over, and maybe the thing for Mario, I don't know, what would Mario get power-up wise for that? I mean, it'd be like natural disasters, aliens chasing Mario. Mario would just have to get away, if anything. Then we have the Jurassic Park type of movie where Mario is running through the jungle away from dinosaurs, maybe giant T-Rexes. Maybe that T-Rex he kept capturing in Mario Odyssey got angry and is chasing him down. Maybe Mario gets a Jeep to drive and maybe even a hunting rifle. Yes, Mario's going to have weapons in this game, as you're going to see in this list. We have the Outback, where maybe it's kind of like a Lion King Madagascar vibe, where Mario's part of the safari. Maybe he also has a Jeep again, or riding some type of animal, or maybe he gets a brand new power-up that's another animal suit, just like the cat suits and the penguin suits. He gets some type of lion suit or something that allows him to also climb, but claw and just be ferocious? I don't know. Maybe we see Mario and his friends in some type of superhero movie where they get capes and superpowers, just like the cape from Super Mario World, but it's a better one. It allows him to do more things. Or maybe he gets a giant robot version of himself that he can walk around in and fight another giant robot. Maybe a giant Bowser robot versus giant Mario robot. You got your creepy horror films, whether you're in a mansion or not. You got ghosts, potentially, that you could fight off with. Even maybe a poltergeist throwback to Luigi's Mansion, and maybe they give Mario a flashlight or something along those lines. You can have a Fast and the Furious kind of racing scene where Mario gets in his car and races against other drivers, or maybe even a motorcycle or something along those lines as well. You have your romantic mystery. Maybe there's some type of whodunit on a train and Mario has to figure out whodunit. This has actually been used in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and they could actually revisit this once again. We have war movies where maybe Mario's on some battlefield fighting against Bowser's army, and there's like planes flying overhead and tanks that he can use, and just that whole war aesthetic. Once again, I think Mario would also have a gun here. I don't know how they're gonna kind of do this. Maybe there's some, unique attribute to it. Maybe it's like a cork it shoots out or some type of mushroom item or something, but I'm sure they could get it to work. Then we can experience some type of space adventure like Star Wars or Star Trek, where Mario's in space with either a laser gun or a laser sword, and he has maybe just a spacesuit or something. And I think this would be really cool. It doesn't have to directly quote Star Wars because they would have to get the rights and all that stuff, but it could be kind of one of those one-off spin-offs that you can pretty much say, oh, that's probably based off of Star Wars. You got medieval castles such as the Knight's Days, where maybe Mario's fighting a giant dragon and he's got to kind of like save the princess in that certain stage, but then Bowser takes her to the next movie. And this could be really cool to have a battlefield, and once again, maybe Mario's army against Bowser's. You can have a sports film where maybe it's about a football game or a basketball game where Mario's team wins and they reign victorious in some type of group or people. You could also give Mario an anime and kind of give him a brand new anime art style where maybe he's just walking around and fighting everybody and beating everybody up with these new kung fu moves or something. And then for Bowser's area, you could have a giant mob boss type of scene where Bowser's at the top of a tower and he's got this business suit on and everything and machine guns and once again with the Nintendo touch on them, but his whole like kind of army all the way through the entire tower, and Mario has to make his way all the way to the top, similar to the movie Scarface. And then, potentially after beating Bowser, there's one last fight scene where Bowser goes through all the movies that you've already been through, and he gets the art style himself in the different costumes, and you have to fight him in every single different level theme, and you have to hit him one time with a specific tool that you use for that stage. Let's say you go back to the Indiana Jones stage, you have to hit him with the whip, and you go back to the race car stage, you have to beat him in a race and maybe knock him out of his car, and then he keeps jumping from movie to movie to movie, and it really creates that title, The Movie Madness. Now, I did add a quick list of bosses real quick for each of those levels, and it's just a real quick rundown as what they would be. You could have an evil sheriff for the saloon. You could have a giant ball escape like Indiana Jones, a giant shark as the bad guy, I guess, in the beach theme. You can have an alien mothership or a queen. T-Rex could chase Mario for Jurassic Park. Hyenas or some type of giant vulture, maybe just like the Lion King. A supervillain for the superhero theme, obviously. Some type of ghost, vampire, or monster for the creepy theme. A street race for the Fast and the Furious. Finding the culprit for the whodunit scene. Enemy lines when you're in the war zone. An evil space leader, such as like a Darth Vader style of character. A giant dragon, whether it be like Dragodon from Captain Toad, or maybe Mario Odyssey's own, the Lord of Lightning, comes back for a giant dragon for the medieval theme. Or maybe you have to go against the other team's quarterback in the sports theme. Maybe Mario fights some type of, other strong fighter in the anime. I don't know exactly what it would be. Maybe Bowser gets some type of anime look and he has to fight Bowser. Maybe he has to fight Bowser through all of these, Maybe that's the whole thing, where Bowser gets a different look and a different appearance, and maybe every level you have to ultimately fight Bowser at the end in some type of new way. So that's the general gist of the story. Peach is saved and she puts all the cameras away, maybe in some vault until the next sequel or something. But I just wanted to cover a couple small topics in case you guys had further questions. So for game style, it's pretty basic. Mario has a basic moveset like in all the other 3D open world Mario games. But what makes this one different is that the abilities and power-ups all come from the different films, which change Mario's appearance once again, and also what he has in that film. In some films, he might have a sword or a gun or a race car, but those will only be tied to those specific films only, and once Mario exits, he does not have that power-up anymore. As far as characters go, we will probably just get Mario, maybe Luigi alongside, but there's probably going to be a big reason they don't do this with different characters is because they have to animate every single character within all the movie styles, which is going to take a long time. So for them to have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Wario, it's going to get really tough for them to do that with every character. So I could see them only doing Mario and probably Luigi since they pretty much dress and act the same. For enemies, I know that we have Bowser as the main antagonist again, but I would like to see new and returning villains. Obviously, Goombas and Koopa Troopas and stuff like that are going to be back in the game, and for all the returning villains, I would love to see them dressed up within these different game themes, like with different war hats, or maybe superhero costumes, or maybe cowboy fit, and all the Goombas and Koopa Troopas, whoever the enemies are in that world, dress like that and play the part. This happens a lot in Paper Mario games, well, they used to, that's why they were so good, because the enemies portrayed all of these different stories and themes. Now, what is it that makes this so good? Well, it's finally a unique storyline. Mario isn't traveling all over the Mushroom Kingdom, but instead is jumping through different movies, which is something we have never even thought of. And what's so cool about this is that it ties both cinema and video games together in one. It gives Mario so many new abilities and vehicles to drive and to experiment with in each and every one of these different worlds. This story is somewhat big and intense because it kind of follows what Paper Mario games do with the big drawn out stories with many chapters thrown in between. And also the hub world returns. That's something that many people wanted in Super Mario Odyssey, and we clearly didn't get it. But overall, I think this game would be a lot of fun. Obviously, this probably will never happen. I don't know if Nintendo would ever go along the lines of having Mario have tons of Easter eggs tie into classical films. Who knows? Luigi's Mansion 3 kind of did this on one floor, and I just kind of wanted to expand on this process and see exactly what else they could do with it. I am super excited to see what the next Mario game is going to be. Currently, I think it is going to be Mario Odyssey 2, but whatever it is, I'm super excited, and I think Nintendo has got it covered. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe if you guys are new to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.